Ladies and gentlemen, gather around while I regale you with tales of how wonderful retirement life is. Actually, no, retirement can really suck. And let me warn you how before any of the following things happen to you. When you first begin your retirement journey, the feeling of freedom can be intoxicating. No longer do you have to constrain your favorite activities and pursuits to the weekend. Now you have all week. And that's where the problem starts. The anticipation and relief that came with the weekends and holidays while working a regular job are suddenly gone in retirement. This contrast effect, where the enjoyment of free time is heightened by the contrast with time spent at work, disappears when every day feels like a weekend. Your brain no longer receives that dopamine hit that came flooding in when you were off work. So now it feels like there is less to look forward to. I once read someone say this of it: it's truly harder to appreciate freedom when it is steady state. The transition from a structured work life to the open-endedness of retirement can be jarring for many. And if they find themselves retired before many of their friends, they can feel themselves as unrelatable. An old trope takes over. Retired, eh? Must be nice. As if now you no longer have the right to complain about anything in your life, because everything must be just peaches and cream since you don't have to clock into work each day. I suspect that part of the problem is that society views retirement as a destination. That's what we've been programmed to believe over the decades of working life. That's what was marketed to us. And when you get there, you look around and think, is that all? What now? As you stand there with a bewildered look on your face, you may find yourself shocked to discover that the job you've been looking forward to leaving for so long actually provided you with a sense of purpose and accomplishment. Yeah, crazy, I know. You may come to realize how much of your identity was wrapped up in that job. Because we create stories for ourselves, don't we? Stories and labels that help us identify and make sense of the world around us. I'm Joe, a plumber, husband, father, competitive duck herder. I'm Cindy, research assistant, mother, wife, braided twine enthusiast. None of these stories and labels are necessarily false, but we assign so much value to them that we forget that we are much more than that. So when the labels are suddenly stripped from us in retirement, we inevitably feel a loss of identity. A loss that can come crashing down during a cocktail party when somebody asks the ubiquitous question, so what do you do for a living? Or worse, they automatically assume you're retired and ask, so what did you used to do? If you haven't yet already managed to separate your identity from your former work at that point, you'll find yourself struggling for some sense of self-worth, a title you can throw at them as proof that, yes, you do still have relevance in this life. You do still have something to offer this world. Perhaps you haven't experienced any of this. Perhaps you're still riding that initial high of freedom for the 9 to 5. I remember it well. It was a great feeling. You've got big ideas about what you're going to do in retirement, and you're going to start them soon. Well, there's no rush, you reason with yourself. You're retired now. And that's where you fall into the trap that I call I've got all day syndrome, which inevitably develops into the chronic condition I've got all week syndrome. It's like being a kid at a candy store, except the candy is time and you're about to get one heck of a toothache. If you fall victim to this malady, it's definitely something you're going to hate about retirement because you only have yourself to blame, which of course makes it that much worse. As the days blend into one long pajama party, some new retirees may find themselves sliding down the slippery slope of lax time management. It's like trying to climb a mountain in a bathrobe and slippers, hilariously difficult and potentially disastrous. Some people will catch themselves at this point and try to change their behavior, The most commonly taken corrective measure is itself counterproductive. They begin to make lists of things to do. They feel good about those lists that they made and how they're being proactive, but they then fail to follow through on actually starting any of those tasks. It's like the brain already got a sense of accomplishment from just writing the list, thereby removing any motivation to move forward with the tasks. Congratulations, you've mastered the art of turning a simple to-do list into a season-long Netflix series. If left unchecked, this comical lack of time management can lead to some not-so-funny consequences, like cognitive decline, aka brain freeze. And I'm not talking about the ice cream kind. Your brain might start to feel like it's been put into the deep freezer, along with those leftovers you keep forgetting about. Social isolation, aka the invisible man syndrome. Your friends will start to wonder if you've mastered the art of invisibility. Nope, just the art of blending perfectly with your couch upholstery, melding right into it. Missed opportunities. You'll become the master of could've, would've, should've. Your bucket list will gather more dust than your unused gym membership. Declining health, aka the health Houdini. Watch as it mysteriously disappears. So what can we do about all this? Well, I had some simple tips for you. 1. Creating a flexible but consistent daily routine. Maybe something more flexible than your new elastic waisted pants. Limit time wasters. Be mindful of how you spend your time. Reduce activities that don't contribute to your well-being. 2. Set personal goals and deadlines. Try starting small, like, today I'll get off the couch before noon. Determine what truly matters to you and dedicate time to those activities. Don't measure success solely by tangible achievements. Value activities that nurture your physical, mental, and emotional health. 3. Try volunteering. It's like work, but you get to feel good about yourself and occasionally score some free cookies. You don't need to commit to a formal schedule with a charitable organization. It can be as simple as helping out with any clubs or groups that might interest you. 4. Use time management hacks. Nothing says, I'm hip and with it, like needing your smartphone to remind you to eat lunch. People will be impressed. I'm sure of it. While I've made light jokes about all this, apathy is a real threat to your physical and mental health. You've earned a retirement from your career, not from life. For that, you still got to show up and put in the effort. Something I personally hate about retirement is watching others in our peer group fall into financial distress. Like this video I recently made about Charles. It's unfortunately a shocking and sad story, but I do try and put an emphasis on the brighter side of things. I'll put a link on screen to the video as well as in the video description should you care to watch it.